Hey guys, it's me, Mama C, coming at you from West Tennessee. I'm doing a follow-up video on the one I published 2 days ago, which was about regaining spirituality. Now, this video is going to be a little different. I'm actually going to perform a spell while on video. Um, it's going to be one that makes some of you uncomfortable, and I apologize for that in advance. In witchcraft, we have very light witches, very dark witches, and we have those that are somewhere in between. And that's where I fit. I am a southern hedge witch. It helps if I can even pronounce exactly what I am, doesn't it? What that means is that for me, there is balance in all things. There's good, there's bad, there's dark, there's light. Everything is not love and light. Everything is not hate and hell. The majority of the spell work I do is very, very positive. But tonight will be the second time that I have done what I consider a really negative spell. Now, if you have watched my video on reversing and revenge magic, which is also on the YouTube channel, you know that the way that I approach it is not really cursing or hexing someone, but to send back to them the energy that they have put forth to me in a negative way. I have run into a situation that is absolutely unsolvable, and it has been a big, big part of the reason why I am in the position that I'm in. Dealings with a person who had an opportunity to give me a position I had very much earned, and was promised to me that would have changed everything that's happened in the last 6 months. It would have been, I would have been financially stable. I would have been able to move out when I wanted to. But for some reason, and I've had very little interaction with this person, so I don't know why she turned into such a slimy, sadistic bitch. She did an end run around me twice, and basically I got fucked up the ass with a really sharp stick. This one opportunity would have made all the difference. And the thing is that she knew that. She knew it, and she did it anyway. And not to leave the men out, because I know just as many men get screwed as women do, but for a woman appear to turn around and stab someone so hard, knowingly, knowing that one small step on their part, and this was not a big deal, this was a tiny thing, but it would have made a huge difference in my life. Huge. I mean, all the difference in the world. For a woman to do that to another woman who has never done anything to them at all but show respect and positivity and hard work, that just, it just shit all over me. I've been dealing with it for weeks now, and I cannot get past it. So this goes to the part I was talking about in the Regaining Spirituality, where you're trying to get rid of your anger. And I'm so angry about the situation and what happened, and I don't understand why she chose to do this to me. It makes no sense whatsoever. There was no viable reason for it at all. So I've only done one spell like this before in my life. It is not a hex. It is not a curse. It is sending back to that person exactly what they deserve. So if you have, a lot of times, men and women, you have an ex that just will not go the fuck away, or keeps causing you problems, or you have a stalker, or you have a friend who is just literally strangling you with their needs, and you've had enough. That line has been crossed. That's what this spell is for. So I'm going to show you what it is that I do. I don't want to offend anybody. And remember, this is not a curse. It's not a hex. It is returning to someone the horrible thing that they did to me. All I want is to send that back. Let's just say I have karma tattooed across my forehead right now. Maybe it'll go with all my other ink, you know. Anyway, okay, so the way that this is what I call my vinegar jar spell, and it is very hedge witchy, hoodoo type Southern witchcraft. A lot of it originates in the Appalachian Mountains, where my family comes from, and it can be performed in a number of different ways, and you can use a number of different products. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to use here, and then I'm going to tell you along the way other suggestions that you might have in your magical cabinet that you could use instead in case you need to perform this particular spell. Now, the first thing for a Southern Witch, okay, we have a collection of these. I have cases of them. It's mason jars. You can put anything in a mason jar. I can tomatoes out of my garden. I make pickles. I do spells. I store storm water. I make potions. I make oils. I mean, the mason jar is like the epitome of the perfect Southern witch toolkit. Um, you can buy a case of them at Walmart for about $8, I think. And, you know, I reuse mine, of course, every year, because when I can tomatoes and I make spaghetti, I just put it back in the dishwasher and use it again the next year when I grow my garden. So this is what I'm going on. This one will disappear into a river, running water. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. But we're going to start with just this ball mason jar, okay? Now, I'm going to open up the mason jar. And excuse me while I get a little drink. It's my Ouija glass. This was a gift. I love it. Now, the first thing that you do is you take a picture of the person. And I'm not going to show you a picture of the person that I'm doing this to for obvious reasons, because that is private. But you just print it out on a piece of paper, okay? Now, this is the back. The picture is actually on the front. Now, you take a black marker like this. It's a Sharpie. You can use a paint pen. You could use wax. You could use whatever fancy thing you want to, but the Sharpie, for me, is one of the witch's best friends. So I take that Sharpie and I draw 3 big X's right across the face of this person. 3 X's. Now, the 3 X's has a lot of history in New Orleans voodoo. It also has traditions for the crossroads, for Hecate, for a lot of different, let's say, darker type magic. And what you are is you are erasing that person. You're marking them out. You're taking away their power from you. Okay? Then you take that picture, okay, and you fold it up just like this. Right? And it goes in the jar. All right? There you go. Okay. Now, I have lots of different herbs and tools at my disposal. If you don't have the same ones that I have, you can use different ones. Anything that has to do with releasing negative energy, with reversing negative magic, with sending away negativity. You can actually use things that are related to curses or hexes. Um, Protection, reverse evil, anything, any of the herbs or oils that are associated with that. I'm going to use what I use from my own herb cabinet. And if you have any questions, you know, you can always email me at mamacreepy@mamacreepy.com. MAMACREEPY @MAMACREEPY.com. And I can give you a correspondence. If you don't have what I have, I can say, okay, do you have this? And probably in your own spice cabinet, you're going to have something that's going to work. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the herbs and I'm going to sprinkle them in the jar. Okay, this right here, mandrake root. Sprinkle a little mandrake root in there. Okay. Then a little black salt. The black salt is for protection from future harm. Mandrake root is a curse reverser. Okay, so sprinkle a little black salt. Okay. Alright, so we've got some black salt in there. Protection from harm. Next thing, thistle. Thistle is used, it's used in a lot of different type of spells, but when you think of a thistle, you think of a sharp object, something that causes pain. Like if you step in a thistle patch or a blackberry patch that has thistles, you're going, ow, 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 holy fuck, where's all that coming from? Thistle is meant to, it's like a little pinch, you know, just, there you go. Feel that? That's what you've done. That's what's coming back to you. So this is Blessed Thistle. Got some of this that's going to go in my mason jar. Okay. And then this is probably one of my most used herbs in my magical toolkit. Five-finger grass, which is also called cinquefoil. Five-finger grass is kind of a universal herb for luck, prosperity, reversing evil, getting rid of negative energy. I mean, it just does, it's kind of like frankincense and myrrh. It just does, you can use it in so many ways. So the five-finger grass is going to go in here to repel harm, okay? So put a little bit of five-finger grass in there, okay? Spilled a little on the counter, and I never want to waste my herbs, so I pick it up and drop it back in there, okay? And then the last thing, this is my nasty shit, I'm going to admit it, wormwood, okay? Wormwood is, it smells bad. It is meant to push harm back to the one that's done harm to you. It's also used in a lot of cursing and hexing spells. And like I said, this is not a curse or hex spell. It is simply reversing back this horrible situation that I've had happen to me. So, in goes some wormwood. Okay? Now, next, we're going to go with the oils. Okay? Today, I took a little opportunity to put some hot foot oil on the tires of the car of the person who has screwed me over, to say the least. I don't want to cause any harm to the vehicle, any harm to the person, any harm to anything. Just a little sprinkle of the hot foot oil, and that's all that's really needed. This is hot foot oil that I make here in the shop. So we're going to add a few drops of hot foot oil to the jar. Okay. Hot foot oil is made to make people go away. If you have a neighbor or a friend or ex-friend, somebody that's bothering you, if you sprinkle hot foot oil or hot foot powder where they're going to walk, it makes them go away. I mean, that's what it is. It's called giving them a hot feet. That's another southern hoodoo term. Give them hot feet. Make them their feet hot till they go away. Okay. The next one that I'm going to put in, this one is an oil of my own creation, own recipe called GTFO, which of course means get the fuck out. Because I want this bitch to get the fuck out, leave me alone, and hopefully I might get the opportunity to have what I should have had in the first place. So the GTFO is going right here in the jar. Okay. Then, last but not least, STFU. This is another one of my own creations, my own recipes made here in the shop. It's a shut the fuck up bullet, because that's exactly what I want to happen. I want you to shut the fuck up, do what you should have done, apologize, make it right, or if you won't, I want karma to come back and kick your ever-loving motherfucking ass. Amen. So, here we go with the STFU. Now, next thing we've got here is vinegar. Now, I normally use white vinegar, but I am out of white vinegar because we did a lot of canning this year and usually I keep it in big bulk. But any kind of vinegar could do. This is red wine vinegar, so I'm going to take red wine vinegar and I'm going to dump red wine vinegar into this jar. Okay? And I'll keep the bottle because I recycle the bottles, and you know that's where I make all my pretty bath products out of. So I'm going to put that down to the side over here. So what we've got in here now is we've got a picture with 3 X's across it. We've got our herbs, we've got our oils, and we've got our vinegar. Now, I'm fixing to gross you out, but this is real witchery. If you are not comfortable with real witchery, stop now, continue no further. At this point, I'll do one of two things. I'm either going to spit in the jar or I'm going to piss in the jar. Now, since I'm on camera, I'm going to spit. But you have the choice to do one of the other. If you ever wonder where this expression piss and vinegar came from, now you know. So, here, spit. And that is, I spit on you and the way that you've treated me, what you've done to me, the pain you've caused me, the evil in your heart, the slimy, sadistic, nasty things that you've done. And that's just what that is. So, now, the last thing that's going to go in the jar here, and not everybody's going to have this. I keep a store room of it. This is storm water. What happens is whenever we have, and here in Tennessee it happens a lot, especially in the spring. Excuse me, just we have these storms that come up out of nowhere. And the first thing I'll run and do is put about 8 mason jars or a pail or something out in the yard so I can catch this unexpected storm water. When we know we're going to have storms, it's a different thing. But one that comes out of nowhere, that's got a lot of power to it. And that's what I make my war water out of. And if any of you have ever bought my war water, it's expensive and there's a reason. The war water is made from unexpected storm water, herbs, and some of the other things that we're dealing with here, and is used as a serious form of protection when you are facing something that is unbelievably bad. But the war water I only make in small batches, and I use this type of storm water for it. But see, collected this storm water in a mason jar. I've used part of it to make the Southern Storm oils. Those are used, if you've ever bought one of the Southern Storm oils, you know that that's a reversing oil that is a recipe I've made here in the shop. But I'm going to take this storm water, and it's going in my other mason jar here. Just going to go ahead and fill this sucker up. Okay, another mason jar to wash. Because as you can see, next year it will have tomatoes in it. Okay, so now you have in this jar the picture, the herbs, the oils, the vinegar, a little witch spit or piss if you decide to do that, and the storm water. Okay? I'm going to close it up. Give her a shake. Okay? Now, next step. Black candle. Little candle holder. Normally I would use a figure candle, like male or female, depending on what the intended is, but you can use any kind of black candle, and I've chosen to use a chime candle because it's a little easier for me to do on video. And so what you do is you take, this is my candle scribe, it's just a piece of pointed brass, but you can also use a sharpened pencil or a toothpick, and you write the person's name from bottom to top on the candle. Okay, so I'm going to carve the name into this candle. You see what I'm doing here? Okay, so I have carved the name into the candle, and I'm going to take a little bit of this hot foot oil right here that comes from the shop, and I'm going to anoint the candle where I've carved the name with the hot foot oil. That's just a little extra bonus there to say go away. Take the candle, put it in my little candle holder here. Okay, now we got this. Got our candle here. We've got our jar. We're going to put these next to each other. Now, the spell, you know that I am a traditionalist because partially I'm a Southern Hedge Witch, and we do everything in rhymes. And so this is, if you don't understand or can't write down the words fast enough, I'll be happy to email you a copy of the spell if this is something you need to do. It is sending back to the person who's harmed you the harm that they've done. Like I said, my name's Karma, and here I come. Okay, now what you'll do is you'll take your candle and you'll light it. Okay, so you've got your candle lit, and you put it in your candle holder. Okay, and then you'll say your spell. With stench and fire I cast this spell, ill will and harm I now repel. Protection on me now bestow from those who wish me pain and woe. Worry, meddle, wish ill will, these things you've done I now shall still. I cast you out with magic's haste and put you in a cold dark place. Your name is carved in candle black, the harm you've done I send right back. No more damage will you do, your time for trouble now is through. Your hell and hate is now your own until you leave me and mine alone. You mire yourself in this nasty jar till you take yourself away and far. When you turn your eyes from me, the magic then will let you be. Know then peace in your own life, and suffer no more pain or strife. I set this spell 3 times 3, as I will, so mote it be. Now you'll notice, as I've gone through this spell, I started with the hard part, stench and fire. I've got vinegar, nasty herbs, storm water, and a candle going. Okay, that's the stench and fire. I'm repelling ill will and harm. I'm talking about you've worried, meddle, wish ill will. I'm stopping it now. I'm done with you. Your name is carved a candle back. The harm you've done, I send right back. That's all I'm doing, is I am just sending back to that person exactly what they've done to me. And it says, your hate and hell is now your own until you leave me and mine alone. So in other words, the second she stops fucking with me, the spell ends. That's the way I write it. When you turn your eyes from me, my magic then will let you be. Meaning that when you either fix what you've done wrong or you go away and leave me alone, the bad karma that I've sent back to you, it ends. Because it's not as if I want to cause permanent harm, permanent damage, permanent problems for this person. I just want to send back to them what they have done to me. That's it. Just that little piece. Whatever they do to somebody else, well, I can't help that. That I can't take responsibility for. So at the end it says, when you turn your eyes from me, my magic then will let you be. You'll know peace in your own life. So either they will figure out they've done something wrong, they'll apologize, they'll make it right, and it'll give them some peace, or they'll leave me alone, go away, I'll never see them again, and then they'll have peace. Either way works for me. I don't really care. But like I said, if you want a copy of the spell, I'll be happy to email it to you. Now, what we've got now is we've got the black candle burning right here with the name carved into it, the hot foot oil. And we've got our vinegar jar. Okay? So what I'll do is I will wait until the candle burns all the way down. And then I will take whatever leftover wax and wick is in the candle holder. I'll dig it out and I will put it in the jar. Okay? The jar then goes in the freezer. And it's kind of a guessing game for me. Sometimes I'll leave it in there a few days. Sometimes it might stay in there a few months. It kind of depends on how the circumstances go. If it turns around really quickly, it comes out of the jar. I go to running water and I throw the whole jar in. I know that sounds like litter. Or you have the opportunity to go take it off your property and bury it somewhere. Either one. But what that does is that just cuts the spell off. Okay? If it seems like nothing's happening or it's taking a long time, it'll stay in the freezer until I feel like it's time to get rid of it. And that's what that part of the spell means, where it says, I cast you out with magic's haste and put you in a cold, dark place. It's the bottom of the freezer, because I'm going to freeze this situation and make you stop what the fuck you're doing to me. Okay? Now, like I said, this is part of regaining spirituality. I know it doesn't sound like it. Probably sounds like something hateful, but it's not. It's not meant to be hateful at all. What it's meant to do is reverse what has been done to you by somebody that's truly bad, and to protect you from harm from them in the future. So, if you have any questions, you know you can ask me. Email me at mamacreepy@mamacreepy.com, or go to the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/MAMACS. And I'll be happy with anything to help you with anything you want to know. And again, remember that this is not dark magic. This is, if you're not familiar with the type of magic I do, go watch the video on reversing and revenge magic that I made several months ago, and you'll understand more about my thought process on how these things work. I'm not a big believer in hexes and curses and things like that, just because I'm really not built that way. But I do believe in sending back to someone the evil that they have done. Now, I hope you all have a good night, and I hope that you will all continue to join me on this journey of regaining our spirituality, and blessed be.